I'm just sending you sparkly fairy dust. All normal things around here. Welcome. My name is Stormie Calder. Welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to stream of conscience channel around a goddess activation. How to awaken the goddess within and clear and make space for her through the summer so that you can step into your power. And while we're here, we're going to do a little cleanse. It is cleanse time. All right. Also, we're doing a little switch up on the YouTube algorithm here. We're going to see if it wants to vibe with me for women. Algorithms. Okay. If you are new and you don't know yet, I have a bunch of free trainings down below that I think you're going to really love. I have an Akashic Records video training where you can learn a little bit about the Akashic Records, and I have an Enlightenment Masterclass in 2 parts that I think you guys will really love. So enjoy that. Now, let's jump right in. Let me think about how I want to set this up too. I've got kind of 4 themes. Let me tune in with my Most High. Let's talk first about the goddess activation. I'm just streaming her voice as a channel. The goddess activation is a pie that's available for every woman, every feminine on the planet, should she choose it, should she claim her divine inheritance, should she claim the right to her sacred womb space, which is her ability to create literally anything, regardless of any other projection or karma that people have projected on her. She can become, quite literally, the woman of her dreams. The woman that awakens the goddess within is a woman that understands what it is to be themselves, what it is to unlock the most authentic nature and states of her own being, where she's no longer locking up parts of herself, placing them in shadowed cages in order to shy away from certain aspects that might be a little more agitating than others to other humans, when in truth, the goddess is who she is. She is as she's required to be by God. To be a goddess is God, God-S. It is the highest states of the crystalline frequency, angelic frequencies, godlike frequencies that are encapsulated in a human woman. As they ascend, as they claim the goddess state. There are many different activations of a divine feminine. We will start off first just through the chapters, and then we'll go into more depth as Stormie is guided to through her channeling. The first stage of the feminine, the maiden. Hold on, I'm actually stepping in. There, is it that or the virgin? The maiden is the virgin. Okay, I'll let it take back over. The first stage is the maiden, the activation. Not to be confused with the damsel, which is the shadow archetype of the maiden activation. The maiden activation is meant to stay sweet and pretty and is learning and is studying. She's learning how to be a woman. She's learning how to be free. She's learning how to find herself. She's learning her core authenticity. She's learning her values. Those values she has yet to realize why she has them and how important they are, which often leads of the soul out of the maiden voyage. The maiden voyage is the sacred rite of passage for every divine feminine as they leave aspects of innocence and choose to return or choose to deny innocence in exchange for more sultry values, we'll say, that are less valuable in some ways but could be turned into valuable in other ways, Without getting into details, the point here is to make room for you to see where you may lie in your consciousness. The maiden voyage is the voyage where the maiden leaves naive, innocent, misunderstanding what it is to have dark nights chase her through time space, misunderstanding that the world isn't perfection in roses but requires protection. How she accesses those levels of protection comes through the journey, as each woman, as each maiden in this case, learns how to access her own protection. Some learn protection through academia, some through career focus, some through celebrating masculinity through typically a man, a relationship, and some through extended travel, ongoing voyage, ongoing self-adventures. Of course, there's a mix of this for every woman that grows up as well. Now, there are many adult women that are still in the maiden stage. These are aspects of consciousness, not of exact aging. The next stage we'd like to bring your attention. One sec, I'm getting clarity from my guides. Can you say that again? They're telling me the queen, but then they've also got the princess, like the mage. But I think I'm going to ask her to group them together for now. Oh, the mage and the maiden are synonymous. Sorry, I'm like working something out right now as we go. Okay, so the next stage is the queen. The queen is the oh no. The queen is the rude awakening for the feminine. The queen is realizing that you have to fight. You have to understand how you fight. You have to understand how you guard and protect. Protect your own innocence, protect your children. This is also queen and mother can be similar, synonymous as well, depending on your consciousness levels. Understanding that you need to not only guard, but be guarded, not only protect, but be protected, and take a stand firm grip on your understanding of what is worthy and what is not. What you pursue and how, what you choose and why, and whether or not it will give you the consequential results that you are looking for and seeking. The queen phase is about understanding the consequence of choosing wrongly and the consequence of choosing rightly. It's very, very easy to choose in a wrong way, to choose in a karmic way without considering future thinking, future thought. Like if I choose to be with this, what will that mean for the next 30 years of my life? That's the journey. It's understanding that when you choose relationship and your heart chooses that you're choosing a curriculum path. And to the queen, only she will know, and it's based in discernment. This is the phase of discernment, of understanding what are the right choices and what would take you away from your core path. They're telling me the downfall of this stage of goddess awakening of a divine feminine. Tell me that again. The downfall of this stage is misalignment and choosing to follow through with someone else's plan for you because you didn't have enough foresight in order to see where the plan was going before you selected it. Hold on. My guide is trying to speak in my ear to me independently, so just give me 1 sec. She's just like, you're the guardian, move through that. I'm guarding. I'm ushering? I don't know. I'm bringing you guys through the phases, through the stages. And she's like, move it to the goddess because they need to see. Hold on, you don't want to spend more time on the queen? The queen needs to see how to get out of her way. The queen phase is beautiful. And as you master each queen phase, right, like there's one for each of the elements. You work through understanding karmic choice and consequence around your sexuality, around your power, around your decisions, and around your ability to make, to create, whether it's your career, whether it's, you know, where if your focus is on family, wherever your focus is, to create. And you're working through mastery as a queen. There's just oh dear God, there's nothing easy about this phase. The queen mastery is, it's like being in a rock and a hard place 24/7 until you master all 4 phases. Because the point of the queen, the point of this is to understand consequence and to make not just better decisions, because you're not really making mistakes. The point isn't to make mistakes as a queen, although of course we can correct those things. The point is to learn discernment in all elements. And when you can lock in that discernment, then you escalate into the goddess archetypal consciousness. The queen is learning, but she's learning through high stakes experiences. Unlike the maiden, there is innocence, but like naivete does not go over well for queens. Like they just, because think about it this way, okay? Innocent, yes, innocent is a pure heart of love, but ever watchful for a queen, because a queen can't just like jump into any situation like a maiden, because they have more at stake. A queen has a queendom. A queen has stuff that she's looking out for, whereas a maiden has like a little satchel on her back. Is like, let's go. All right, there's a lot less stakes at the maiden territory. So when the queen makes mistakes, if the queen lacks good judgment, it's very painful. She's telling me again, my guide is telling me again, it's the rude awakening stage. It just is what it is. I'm sure there are other things that we could say, but that's where she has me locked in because she wants me to move over to goddess. Okay, so let's open up. So after you master your own personal discernment, your truth around discernment, we move towards the goddess archetypal consciousness. Okay. Feel free to stream through me with that. The goddess is your ability to choose and be chosen. It's your ability to stand your ground without, there's no like fight necessarily in it. It's just truth. Like, it's just like closing and opening portal doors and focusing on the self in the way that you know your truth so well that you, oh my gosh, give me the words. Give me the energy again. So well that you're moving fluidly through states of pleasure. The goddess is in self-performance. She doesn't perform for anyone else. She allows other people to witness and see her as she performs for herself. There is no sacrifice, absolutely no sacrifice at the goddess stage of awakening. There is just choice. After learning all of the ways something could be done or couldn't be done, she knows who she is. And she embodies that in her total complete character in body. It is not like channeling outside of the self, although that could be part of it. It is about living and breathing the experience of the beauty of her awakening. It's about locking into that and allowing nothing to disturb it. It becomes very, very self-focused. At the queen stage, it's about the exchange with everyone and everything. At the goddess stage of consciousness, the consciousness itself is a gift. So it becomes more of a self-focused self-concept, because when you're in the goddess archetypal consciousness, the moment you walk into a room, because of the embodiment, the entire room benefits from energy in very mystical ways. And how you decide to interact with the room is the present. That is your presence. It's very different than the other stages. A goddess is innocent in her heart's. She does take responsibility. She does know how to manage assets, but she does not claim responsibility over things that are not for her. That would cause karma or disruption in her frequency, which is why it's a self-focused stage, because at the goddess stage, it's a lot higher of a vibration than the maiden. It pulses out a really strong magnetism. It's also very sensual and very powerful. So she's moving more with the pleasure of the magnetism of what she wants to attract and work with, without worrying so much about consequence, because she's already learned it. So it's like the God state. If you guys think of goddess like God, there's the God spark, there's the goddess spark. It's the ability to step into your true nature, your true north in your soul, through your developmental awareness, through walking through the stages of awareness, of consciousness, to then embody the goddess within, which is a complete activation that requires full sound judgment, the ability to discern, understand, and to appropriately judge, and the ability to be in complete pleasure in the self. Total, dedicated, unwavering self-love embodied. Completely unwavering in truth and self-expression. And there, she's telling me, and knowing when to wave the little white flag when it's time to surrender up to the highest. Or the little red flag when you're in danger. The rude awakening at the queen stage turns into a fruitful, pleasure-based awakening at the goddess stage. You could really, at the goddess stage of awakening, you could really do almost whatever you want and not suffer consequences, because you worked out the karma, the loops, the mental thinking, and the exchange with other humans about what it takes to be at that level of consciousness before. Like you did it in a previous chapter. Which is why you can now step in. This is the stage of consciousness I'm in. It's like I can step into this now and have them. It's just such a different stage. Okay, what else do you guys want to say? Depending on where you see people in their self-expression, you'll see different women in these 3 different archetypal patterns, and you'll see them interact with their audiences and the public and their spouses and everything very, very differently based on where their consciousness levels are. And for you to understand, there's no wrong way. It's pretty linear, actually. This is a linear development pattern. You can't skip one. You're not just going to the goddess. Like, you're starting at the maiden. This is part of human consciousness awakening, specifically for the divine feminine. You do have to master the stages before you move to the next one. You have to get them into mastery, which is why she's saying it's why you'll see so many people that are, so many women that are much older that are still in the maiden phase, because they may have just lived their entire life in the maiden phase. There's no shade there. It's just like whichever stage of awakening or awareness they're in. But you'll see women act differently depending on which stage they're in. So some of you might be like, why can certain women do that or say that or be that when other women can't? Because they're at the higher levels of consciousness. There's a point to when you embody at the goddess level so much of the frequency, the higher frequencies of the feminine, of the divine feminine, that there is no more argument with the matrix. It just becomes the feminine consciousness that moves through and breaks through the matrix with almost no effort, very little effort. However, had a maiden tried this, there would be an unguarded, unprotected aspect of them that would likely be challenged. So it's depending on the aspect of your consciousness, depends on what can be done and how for self-expression. At the queen stage, if you try to just be everything that you are without discernment, you're skipping over your karma. Family karma, your personal karma, your spouse's, those of you that are married, you're also working out your spouse's karma. You can't skip over the karma and move to the goddess. You'll just be thrown back again. You have to work through the karma, because goddess is not a mental state. It is an embodiment of the energy. In order to embody the energy, you actually have to move through it and resolve the karmic issues, resolve the karmic conflicts, which could be literally a conflict to pleasure. Like, it's not all direct conflict. Some of it's just in your inheritance, in your mind, in your spirit, where you're not sure if you can live life that way. That's a karma, and that has to be worked through, and the times of that are different. And women are moving through each of these phases in different ways, but it is linear. Okay, she's directing me to my notes. she's like, say, I have some fancy things to show you. My guides speak in the cutest like guides speak. Hello! Welcome, you guys. Welcome, ladies. Welcome, ladies. Okay. Here we go. Here are my pretty things to share with you. Okay, so awakening the inner goddess. Essentially, I have 4 steps that I've been contemplating on. Theme number 1 is, I'm going to say this in 2 ways: set standards and remove all loss. And they come together. So when we set standards, you can set it from a high, but usually I feel like standards are set because you're experiencing things that are not the standard. So you go, this is the new standard, all right? Like, so part of setting standards is not denying loss, because loss is real, but removing it. And I'll go into this a little bit. What's loss? Loss is heartbreak, decay, atrophy. They're patterns of decay. So you can have growth or you can have decay. You can have growth or you can have atrophy. If it's in a decay or if it's in an atrophy stage, whatever it is, it's time to do some pruning. Whether that is in your heart space, whether that is perhaps in some relationships, whether that is in your physical environment. But it's about removing loss. By setting the standard, you remove the loss. Because if you set your standards and then you have things that are below that standard, then it's not really your standard. You know what I'm saying? So when we set the standard, we have to put our money where our mouth is and embody it, which is to remove everything below the standard. Theme number 2 is stepping into your power and setting a new direction. I would also say that this is reducing down and concentrating your energy, making your energy like much more potent and much more concentrated. And the way that I like to do that is I'm constantly doing this in my consciousness and in my environment and my relationships. It's like, okay, what's not working? We already tackled that in step 1. Remove it, let it go. And then as you're reducing it, it's almost like they're showing me balsamic vinaigrette, like you're making like a balsamic reduction. Like take the best of it, everything that you have, because you've just gotten rid of the decay. So now you have the best like energetic ingredients, and like reduce it until you get this sauce. The sauce is a quantum sauce. It's a quantum creativity that you can tap into. So you're concentrating your energy almost like a tea or like a balsamic reduction, or you're just making it concentrated. And that's stepping into your power. And they're telling me like ayahuasca is like boiled down into a tea, and it's very, very concentrated. At the goddess stage of awakening, you become the medicine. Your energy is the medicinal energy that moves through life and changes people in ways that perhaps a lot of us don't even know. As we're moving, because we become the embodiment, we become the example of what a feminine can be. That's the medicine. That's this concentration of personal power from the divine feminine consciousness, like from your goddess consciousness. Theme number 3 is focusing. You need to be able to focus on what you need and what you want through expansion. So when we think about focus, it's like a laser beam, but it's not a contraction. It's you're focusing and expanding simultaneously, which is really a womb space activation. Like I don't think men can do this. This is a feminine frequency. You focus and expand simultaneously. So as you focus, you are opening up so much quantum potential through the gate of the access of a womb space that literally taps into the quantum and understands what's available and how to make it. So through focus, it opens. And part of that is being the boss of your life, which is to be a goddess. Like, you have standards. Goddesses have standards. I'm not saying queens don't. They do. But queens, there's a little bit more of a compromise energy. At the goddess level, there's no compromise. It's like, I have already considered all of your needs, my needs, and the universal needs, and this is the way through. This is the way. To compromise at the goddess level would be to deny other people what they need, to deny the universe the expression that is completely necessary in the moment because it's embodied. It's less relationship focused with other people, and it's more relationship between the feminine and God. Of course, people are present in your life. Of course, you have relationships, but it's all about maintaining the feminine connection to God's source, and everything moves through that source connection. And because of that, at the goddess level, it's not like if anyone is pressuring a goddess to compromise, they would just say no. Because source has already moved her into place and alignment to fill needs. Hers, other people's, and the universal formless substance needs for that expression. Okay. Theme number 4 is focusing on embodiment and choice. So stepping into the woman of your dreams. It's less at the queen stage, it's becoming the woman of your dreams. The goddess is the woman of your dreams. Like, you are the woman of your dreams. You are the love of your life. I don't know how many people think about this, but this is something my guides have like trained me into, or those 2 phrases. They're like, you are the woman of your dreams. Like, I've had to work to become the woman of my dreams, and continually, right? You are the love of your life. That one's a little easier for me. I'm like, yeah, I'm totally the love of my life. It's like, how can you love yourself so thoroughly? And that's what the goddess stage is really about as well. Like, as you move through the mastery, it's like you're loving yourself so thoroughly that you will show up in all of you, all of the time. A goddess is not sweet or meek like a maiden. A goddess is a storm. A goddess is going to do whatever is coming through to move, because source moves through her to reach other people, to do what needs to be done, to create, destroy, to move things out of the way, to heal, to be the medicine. That medicine is created through source intelligence through her. Her energy is the activation. And all she has to do is that. It's express in whatever way each woman in this archetype chooses to express. That is the source moving through. That is the medicine. And it is to be just perceiving it is enough for a soul activation, or whatever the healing medicinal qualities of that woman are. In this process too, it's about finding peace of mind in your own frequency, your own femininity. Peace of mind. And completely embodying your choices. Choosing from love, not fear, which also means often choosing yourself, choosing ourselves, choosing to love ourselves. You know, for women, that's a really, really strong message. Like, it's not about loving that much externally. We kind of do that on autopilot. It's about choosing to learn how to love the self, especially those of you that are mothers as well. It's learning how to love the self. Because everything else is pulling your energy and attention, you know? And that also builds into understanding the value of your human personality and merging her with God, with source completely, your higher source connection, to become and step into the internal goddess, to break through what's been holding you back, and to create a path for others through how you express yourself, as you model, as you example, as you are an example. All right. Those are our 4 themes. I hope you enjoyed this channel and the themes. For those of you that are interested in this process, I am opening up Summer Quantum Breakthrough for the next couple of weeks, which is my 8 to 12 week, you can do 8 weeks or 12 weeks, one-to-one mentorship with me. I don't open it up that often. So if you would like to jump into a short transformation, 8 to 12 weeks with me, I will help you with everything that we just discussed in this channel and in this video, meeting you in your divine feminine consciousness where you are, and helping you to completely tap into understanding the value of your human personality, connecting to God, understanding that God, we'll call it goddess actually, relationship, the relationship to your highest aspects of self, channeling them, busting through any limitations, working through the karmas quickly. I have a tendency to make that very, very easy on people in very practical ways. Working with and activating your womb space, which will just be very natural in working with me. And extending your abundance. I love summer in general because it's the harvest, it's the abundance. And Summer Quantum Breakthrough is about understanding the quantum codes of what it is to have a personal summer ongoing. So if you are interested, send me an email. I'll send you the details for the package. And then this would be for August and September. So you're actually going to be locking in your new persona, your new personality through the summer, having a breakthrough, and then moving it into the fall so that you can feel like you can coast through the end of the year with your, I don't know, like your new human. The version of you 2.0. It's embodying the code of summer, activating that in the divine feminine consciousness. And then I take you through one-on-one coaching and intuitive sessions with me where I'm going to be convening with your soul and your highest guides and you. And we're going to work through all the human stuff that's going on. And we're going to work through what is holding you back and where your potential is, your weaknesses and your strengths at the soul level. And then what feminine consciousness, like goddess consciousness, wants to say through me to you and for you to lock in for yourself as well. To understand how to move forward in your life, what you need to release and let go of, what's holding you back or clinging to you. Sometimes we don't know. It gets like stuck in blind spots. You need somebody to figure it out and point it out with God, with spirit. Releasing that, cleansing, healing, taking the activations, and really stepping into the next level version of yourself. The next level version of yourself, the goddess. We do what we do. Alrighty, if you're interested, check out the description. Check out the, yeah. I don't have a link. It's in the description. There's my email. Send me an email and just tell me you're interested in Summer Quantum Breakthrough and I'll send you all the details. That's what I have for you guys. I have so much love for you. And I feel like I saw a couple people in here. Madeline, if you're still here, I want to give you a shout out, sweetheart. Good to see you. Who else was in here? Carla. Yeah, that's what I got. Alrighty, thank you guys. Enjoy your evening. If you want to work with me, send me an email and I will see you guys soon. Peace.